Well, we're here at the Oral Leisure Centre, a very busy morning, separation of ballot papers from yesterday's vote for the European and particularly the locals. I've got Deputy Pearse Doherty of Sinn Féin with me. Good looking morning so far for Sinn Féin. Pearse, I know we're in the realms of speculation, but you've got to be satisfied with what you're seeing here.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, when the first boxes were opened, you have to remember that we went into this contest with 4 councillors, and in a show, and it looks like that we may return 3 councillors straight away, so that without even looking at the other 4 electoral areas, we had nearly reached our target of what we were going into the contest with. I think this is going to be a very good election for Sinn Féin in County Donegal. The trends that we're seeing in Letterkenny and in Donegal town, and just as the boxes are now being opened in Glenties, are also showing that we're going to make gains in those areas. So a very good day for Sinn Féin if it continues the way it's been going this morning.
Yeah, I suppose people were looking at the parties in government and how they would perform given all that's happened in the last 3.5 years. Fine Gael and Labour both will be concerned with what we're seeing here.
Oh, I think so, particularly Fine Gael, because they've been a big party in Donegal. Labour have only dipped their toe, in my view, in Donegal politics in the last outing. I think they will still have a presence in the county after all the votes they're counted. I think they will still have a seat. There's a very good likelihood that they could retain that seat in Inishowen, probably their only seat in the county. But Fine Gael will be deeply disappointed. I think their vote has collapsed in many areas, and a lot of independents. It'll be interesting to see where some of those transfers go as they start to get eliminated, and obviously some of them will be elected. We'll see a larger group of independents in Donegal County Council. Yeah,
and from what we see, Fianna Fáil are holding up pretty well in Donegal. I suppose that's no big surprise. There always was a huge core vote there. They're going to take 3 seats, it would seem, in the Letterkenny area. They're going to take at least 1, maybe 2 in Inishowen. Likewise in South Donegal, it looks as if they're going to take 2. So they'll be happy enough. Glenties similarly, maybe 2.
Yeah, I think Fianna Fáil will take 3 in Inishowen and 3 in Letterkenny. And I think we have a larger county, we have larger council this time round, and Fianna Fáil are still strong in the county, so their vote is there. They're obviously not anywhere near where they used to be before the collapse of their vote, but they've held where they were in the past. So probably I think Fianna Fáil would want to have made far more gains than they're making, that they wanted to be part of the comeback. That's not happening in the big ways that we've seen. They stood a lot of candidates and took a risk at that there, and vote management will be key. Indeed, if you look at Letterkenny, there's questions whether the 4th candidate, because of, and indeed Inishowen, how vote management might have lost them an additional seat.
Yeah, independents, of course, the speculation was they would do very well in this election, and we are seeing a number of independents doing particularly well in different areas around the county, so that's come through as well as expected.
Yeah, it has, to a certain degree. I think there's been a lot of independents in the poll reasonably well. If you look at, for example, Inishowen, which is a 9-seater, you may have a situation where there's only 1 independent elected, which would not be the type of independent surge that we're seeing in the rest of the country. Now we have to look and see where it pans out in other areas. I think in Letterkenny we're going to see a number of independents, and indeed in Donegal town you have very strong showing from Tom Conaghan and Niamh Kennedy, very localised voting there in Donegal town and Kellybegs respectively, and I think both of them will get in, and John Campbell isn't out of the fray there yet. So there is strong showing from independents, from very large personalities in those areas, and some of them sitting councillors.
Yeah. Are you a fan of this whole independent thing? Because there would be a body of opinion that it's all very fine and independent getting in there, but if there's strong parties in there, they're not going to have much of a say when it comes to the big decision making.
Look, I think it's the people's decision at the end of the day. Obviously, it's wrong to group independents all together. So, for example, you have independents who are maybe Fine Gael candidates who never got on the ticket, who stood for convention, and then you have people who, from the people before profit, who would see themselves very much on the left, very different from the politics of Fine Gael. But when we tend to comment about them, particularly in the media, we bunch them all together as if they're a group. They're not, and indeed they're a lot of them May Féiners, some of them belong to smaller parties, and they're not that type of coherent group, and that's the problem with independents. But look, if people, I think what we're seeing in Donegal, particularly with the Fine Gael vote, and I think we've seen it in the last election with the Fianna Fáil vote, is that people who want to not support those parties that they traditionally voted believe independents are a safe place for them to go and to vote local, and that's fair enough. What we can only do in Sinn Féin is look after our own backyard, and we're very happy that the 11 candidates that we've fielded so far, all 11 of them at this stage are still in contention for the seats.
Yeah. We often say that all politics is local, but if we look at the European situation here this morning, certainly from Pat the Cope's point of view, that wouldn't appear to be the case. Donegal haven't come out and supported him the way he would have hoped.
Well, I think, Donegal people have come out in support at our candidate, Matt Carthy, and I think, Donegal people have been battered and bruised from austerity, and I think it's only understandable that some people wouldn't support a party that have been the leaders, the cheerleaders of that. Yet to say that Pat the Cope, I have no doubt will actually come out tops in Donegal at the end of the day. Anything short of that would be, would be a disaster for him. But I don't think the vote that he intended to get out of Donegal is going to materialise for him. We're very happy in terms of the targets that we had internally for Matt Carthy have been reached so far in Donegal. We're polling very close to 30%. I think as we go further west, that will drop, but it's a very, very strong showing for our candidate, who's relatively unknown in Donegal only in the past couple of weeks.
I'll just put you in the spot then. 11 candidates in the field around the county. What would you be happy with?
I think, look, anything that increases our 4, we're happy with. I think 9 of them we'd be hoping to take home. We'd be hoping to win those seats, and the other 2 I wouldn't write them off. I think that we're in contention at this stage for all 11, and that's what I want. Obviously, all 11 to be returned to Donegal County Council. They're absolutely fantastic candidates. They've really left nothing, behind them. They've put everything into this campaign. They've had a great team behind them. Their families have supported them, and hopefully the people have endorsed them. And it seems that way, but we have to wait and see.
Long couple of days, Pearse. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.